Why must I be discouraged? And why must the shadows come? And why must my heart be lonely when it longs? I began taking hormones at the age of 16. I've always had my mom and my father's approval of being a trans woman, so I've never had to fight with them on those issues. It was just always about getting my life together and stop making so many careless mistakes like this, ending up in prison, if you know what I mean.
Four out of every 5 transgenders that are attacked are African American transgenders. That's right.
I was born Robert Brennan Foster. You know, since I was a child, I felt like I was a girl. And despite knowing myself, the world told me different. And if I wanted to avoid problems, I had to give the world what it wanted to see. And the world wanted to see a boy.
But when you're faced with getting put in the hospital, getting your ribs broke, getting your face caved in, and getting put through walls, you're going to pretty much conform.
My father literally would beat me sometimes every day just to get me to act like a boy, to toughen me up.
We as trans women are very challenged on a daily basis here, especially in this environment. Okay, let's go to the mat. Come on, girl. A lot of the programs here are designed for male inmates because this is still a male institution. We have to fight constantly to gain ground.
Right now, what you're gonna do is get your heart rate up, okay? Keep pedaling, and let's try and find your heart rate.
While I fought endlessly to get the gym program up and running, it took a long journey, it was a long fight. But I was able to work with staff on talking to the right people to get it done, to be able to let our hair down and wear our makeup and our gym shorts and our tennis shoes, and to be able to shoot hoop and do exercise programs so that we can have our own safe environment to be able to be who we are. Good job, Peaches.
Hi, I'm Kat. I've had a pretty decent week. I had one little incident that kind of perturbed me a little yesterday, and now
I don't think I can ever really say I feel safe in prison. And in my first prison, I got raped. And I immediately cut all my hair off, grew facial hair.
So we were showering yesterday, and someone thought it was appropriate to come to the shower and start talking to us about different things while we're in the shower with a staff member. So much so to call me out of the shower to come over to the door to talk to her.
Did you invite them in?
No.
For me, with each prison, I just became more aggressive, more masculine, and more brash, more rude. You know, I got into more problems than I needed, but it kept me from having to worry about getting raped. It was like living a role as an actor. It was like a gut check. Every day I stepped out the cell, I had to make sure I had my attire right. You know, I had the right walk, the right approach, the right timbre in my voice. So I had to act like the toughest person I could find. And after a while, I just couldn't do it no more. I kind of started having a little mental breakdown. I just couldn't put that image on no more. It was too painful.
I'm glad to see all my sisters here today.
I'm glad to be here today. I'm glad that all of y'all showed up today to come to the group, to be supportive. I love to see us in unity. We better in numbers. I always say that. And the other thing, hopefully everybody received their applications for their transgender identification cards. I see Ms. Henderson got hers today. They will have your name on there and what you identify as, female, she, her.
They still feel that we are men, because I had an officer that tell me, Well, you're still in the man's prison, so you're a man. So I had to write him up.
On the good side, when I went to the board addressed me as a she, and it was in my transcripts. I was a she. I was like, wow, that's kind of interesting, because I didn't think that was going to happen.
If you're going to have something implemented, do it across the board and actually train them to do it. And if they don't...
It's frustrating. Institutionally, it's like trying to move a boulder. They're very much used to doing what they, have processing things the way they do it. So change doesn't come easy here.
The sentence in coming to state prison, that's the punishment, right? There shouldn't be an additional punishment. You shouldn't be required to identify a different way simply because you committed a crime and you've been given a sentence. We're so accustomed to being a binary system, and what we recognize now is because we have this very diverse population, we also have to make some accommodations.
I'm Rachel. I was sitting in my cell with just my bra on and my shorts, facing the wall. That same AW came in and read me the riot act, told me...
Being a transgender person, even in the community, can be difficult. And so we are having the same conversation in the prison setting.
When I'm at my bed area, that's my area, and I can dress as I feel.
You're in a dorm setting?
Yep.
Ms. Rachel? Okay, in the dorm setting, we as transgender women should dress accordingly. We are wearing bras, panties. We must have our nightgowns on.
I mean, as a woman,
yes,
you should want to be covered. I mean, for me, I keep my muumuu on.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't care how hot it is. They big enough, they blowy at all times.
Yeah.
If you don't learn to pick up a weapon and fight right along with the dudes and die with them, then they're not going to accept you. And if you get cut, you just get cut. What you do?
I know some girls are going to want to stay here because they want to be around the men. But if you identify as a female, then I think you should be housed around females, and I think that would eliminate a lot of the problems of being sexually assaulted or being raped, pressured.
Do you want to go to a woman's prison? Well, hell yeah.
Sex reassignment surgery, I'd love to go over to the female institution instead of this.
I wouldn't like it because I love men. I'd rather be right here with a bunch of men instead of with a bunch of women. You know what I mean? So that's it.
Okay.
I just want to share with y'all, I also submitted paperwork in for more items to be placed in the canteen for y'all. Various foundations and makeups will be added to what we already have.
This is the first prison I've ever been to that actually had a transgender community. It was actually probably the biggest load I've ever taken off my shoulders when I just stopped saying I was going to be, what everybody else wanted me to be, and just be myself.
I just wake up like this. We're picking up the pieces of our life. What are we going to do when we leave here? We want to be productive people in society, so we have to start with ourselves, building ourselves back up. But I tell them constantly that you're beautiful, you're a better person, you can be anything you want to be. Things that their parents should have been telling them.
This one is for my eyes, the volumizing. And I love my pinks. My mascara. And I cover up my gray with it. Just a little bit on the side,
Our goal is to make it normal. It's, of course, a lot of work because there's a lot of policies that have to be changed that have been set for a very long time, but I think we're getting there.
There was a time when being transgender in prison, it was pretty hopeless. It was dark. Perhaps I will never fully ever get there, but I am content with who I am. And I feel like, I feel like I can go on. I can keep going. I can press on.
Now I'm becoming more and more me. And the more I am, the less angry I am. The more able I am to just kind of love myself and be gentler to other people.
Amazing grace, Amazing grace will always be my song of praise.